Hello there. Um, Something I need to address, um, because it's a political topic and a very important one. But I haven't addressed because it's very personal. Um, so I am going to do some scraping the plastic, rubber, and stuff off from the tops of those. I'm going to do some so I can distract myself because it needs to be talked about and not in the antiseptic ads. You're seeing some Democratic local ads um, for Congress in their districts, and also Kamala Walsh ad. Um, the the Roe versus Wade. Um, Trump has been bragging about overturning Roe Wade, and he keeps saying on interviews and speeches, whatever, that everybody wanted it. Nobody could do it, but everybody wanted it. No, everybody didn't want it. The majority, even the people that are the original type Republicans, not MAGA Republicans, even they, many of them, were content with the Roe versus Wade, because here, this is the thing. The thing about abortion, a lot of you majority of you who don't want it because you claim a religious, like it just, you claim for religious reasons, blah 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 blah, and I'm not being dismissive of religion, but I'm not under your religion, and neither is the woman across the street, and neither is the woman over on that building. They're not your religion, your religion, blah. And therefore that's not a rule for us because that's not our religion, and that's the only place reason it is there, because then we have to devolve into the science, because people with a religious belief want to enforce that belief on the entire subject. The issue is not would you get an abortion. The issue is, do I have that right to do what's best for my body and my life, just like you have the right to say I don't believe abortion is correct, and then you don't have one. That's your choice, right? How would you like if I put up a law that was on enforced on every citizen, like it or not, that said once you have a child, you can't have any more, or you can only have two, and one has to be a boy and one has to be a girl. Any of the other babies, you have to get rid of. You can't keep it. They can't live. I mean, it's the same thing, because maybe my religion believes in the overpopulation and the greedy, haughty arrogance of humans. Yeah, that's my religion. And so everybody has to have a boy and a girl child, and that's it. Not two girls, not two boys, not two of each. One boy, one girl, and no other child can live after that. See what I'm saying? The Roe versus Wade was, I have the right to do what's best for my body and my vagina and my uterus and my ovaries and my fallopian tubes, just like you have the right to do and make the choice not to have one. I have the same choice. That's what the issue is. It's not, do you want to have it and does your religion allow it? The issue is, should it be allowable to women and not be allowed to be banned anywhere in the country? That is the issue. And you guys want to twist it around until we're just arguing yes, no, non, we. No. That's not the issue. Keep fucking issue on the top. The issue is, do we all have the right to have that choice, or is it only the people that have the religious belief that it's not right that get the choice, and the rest of us have to follow your religious choices? That is the issue. You say, wow, Judy, you're really kind of passionate, a little bit hostile about that issue. You know what? I have a fucking reason to be. Because 40 years ago, I was raped, was with an abusive person. He lost it, and not because I was raped when he finally told him the next day, but he was mad because he didn't give the guy permission. That's why he was mad. I wound up pregnant. Don't ask me why, but it wasn't, I knew it wasn't his. I knew it was from the rape. And time was running out because of the time thing. In a situation like that, I would be so exhausted coming home from work every day, and he would be, I could barely get my ass home from a full-time job, and he'd get home and he'd be like, no, what, dinner's not ready? I'm like, I got home maybe an hour ago. I'm like so exhausted. I didn't know I was pregnant. And his response, but he knew I'd been raped. And his response was, what kind of a good of an old lady are you? You can't even I said, I work full-time too, you know. And, but see, that's the way it was with that relationship. Was, it was my only marriage. Was, if we both work full-time, I'm responsible for all the housework, all the laundry, all the shopping, for paying the bills, my responsibility. I pay half the, rent. That's how it was sick. He paid half the rent, half the insurance for the car. I paid half the insurance because we both were on insurance. And, he got to spend the rest of his, but I had to pay for the utilities and the food. And why'd I stay? We can get into that. If you want to have me to talk about psychological things and abuses and things like that, I'll be happy to, but I'm not talking like a fucked up, make fun discussion. I'm talking about a serious fucking discussion that needs to be discussed. And the trolls that fucking are trolling this kind of shit, or my friend's channel, the Crap Goth, when she does her mental health things on there, and you fucking troll us, okay? It's you kind of people that we have to go to fucking therapy for later in life. It's because of you little motherfuckers. So you all can stay off my channel. Because you don't know what people fucking carry in their hearts. You have no motherfucking idea what others carry around with them, that other people have put on them and that life has put on them. And I was weeks of exhaustion, barely getting home. And he was upset he had to make food. Oh, I have to make it for you too. I wasn't hungry. I finally found out I was pregnant, so close to the cutoff time for. And then I had to endure that too, because it's not only physically painful, no matter what kind it is, but to make that decision after you're not even put back together from the rape. Second. So, that is why MAGA and you little religion forcers, and I can tell you some horror stories about religions too, and it's not just the culty ones. You want to talk about Jehovah's Witnesses? I can talk about that. From the time I was 7 to 17, and I had no effing choice about it. We could talk about that too if you want. Let me know. And I'm talking serious conversations, not bullshit ones. So, hang on. And that's why that issue is a big thing. It's a big damn thing. I remember when I was a little girl. I was born in 63. I remember growing up and finding out as a teenager that as women still we couldn't even open a bank account if we didn't have a man's signature. And I had said, what happens if I don't like get out of high school and get married right away and I just live by myself and have a job? What how do I get a bank account? I don't have a husband. They said, well, then your father has to come in and sign with you. I'm not saying white women have any idea what it's like to be of color, but we have a little idea what it's like or how it feels to be disregarded just because I have breasts and a vagina. And I can imagine how much worse it would feel just because of the color of your fucking skin. Like people with naturally red hair, some people just really are obnoxious to them. Or people that, are naturally blonde, people always act like, it's a joke is one thing. But some people actually treat them that way. And I know that for a fact because I was a platinum blonde for many, many years. Like in my 20s and going in 30s, early 30s. So I know what that's like too. And yeah, I can play the part very convincingly, dumb blonde, and manipulate somebody up the fucking ladder and back down again if I wanted to. By using your own mocking me against you. But yeah, that's one more thing. The Bastards Golf Course here in New Jersey is 30 minutes from me. And the man it's not even just disgust me. And anybody who speaks out against, if you're anybody who says, "Oh, I'm pro-life," but you don't want to back any child or family or parent or mental health federal programs, or if you don't want to continue the EBT programs and the housing voucher programs and stuff like that, school lunch programs and stuff, then if you don't like those, then you're not pro-life. You're pro-birth. We want as many women to pump as many white women to pump as many white babies out of their little white vaginas, and then we don't give a fuck how you raise them. But if you fuck up, we're gonna blame you. Then you're not pro-life. You're just pro-birth, and then we walk away and turn our back on you. And that is all you are. When all you spew is, "No, we can't afford that. No, we can't afford that." You people have kids. Prices keep going up. Yes, we're working on it. Donald will give us a plan any day now. 8 years later. Donald will never, ever do what he says, and anybody supporting him, propping him up in his orbit is the same. And sadly, it looks like Barron's going the same way. Melania is just as bad, so it's not like Barron had a chance. She acts like she's above the political stuff, but that's only because she doesn't want to be too looked at too closely. I guarantee you, she's keeping her little Epstein. Her Epstein. That's what it is. I like to call it Epstein. It's called an Einstein visa, but I always call it her Epstein visa. Her preordained. But yeah, her Einstein visa. I sometimes wonder if that's why she stays above the fray. And by the way, her little squinty-eyed thing that she does, trust me, her eyes are not naturally like that. I had go old videos before she was Mrs. Trump, when she was just Melania Nass. She didn't do that thing. Every now and then you'd see it in a model pose or something, but just her general pictures of her like when she was growing up in school, that kind of thing. She didn't do that squinty-eyed thing. Part of it is the makeup, the way she does her eyeliner really thick, and it makes her eyes look squintier. But at the same time, she also does do a squint. And all I can tell you is, and she always has her head up, her chin up like this, kind of like the nose in the air. All I'm going to say to you is imitate. If you want to see one good clue about body language, if you can't understand what that combination means, like their shoulders are back but their chin is up, kind of thing, but they won't look at you. So it looks like they're open, but are they really, that kind of thing? Do what she does. She puts her chin up, so basically she has to look down her nose at you and squint. Now do that little slight squinty thing. So it's almost visible, noticeable, but not really. You can't really tell, kind of thing. Do that and do this. Do any of her poses. You'll see she's looking down her nose at you. She's that superior, I'm a woman of class, while she models nude. Lies to a brand new country so she can become a citizen and marry a rich guy, and that's basically all she's known for the rest of her life. And her squinty eyes. But you look, even when she first came in with Donald, and just in the social, scene in New York, she didn't have that for a very long time, and it wasn't surgery either. She just does that squinty thing because she has that "I'm better than you" ha ha. And she wasn't better. She did not legitimately legally um qualify for an Einstein visa. She didn't. You can go check out what her career, being an international means you're known in more than your one country. When you live in Slovenia, Spain is a big country, okay? As compared to America or Australia, Canada, a modeling person that's not only in their own country but also Canada or also. I mean, oh yeah, they're known all over Scotland and Ireland too. That is technically an international between two nations career, but not really when you're looking at a global scale. That and I'm sure some payoffs got her in. No, it's not a conspiracy. People from that time it happened question it. But because at the time he appeared to be a savvy businessman and wealthy and stuff, I mean, his friend was still alive, you know. He, that's, and the fact that he Donald is fucking with immigrants so much. That's what all the jokes about because it's like she brought her parents in on the allowances for family if you get an Einstein visa that she didn't qualify for. Explain all that to me. Why is he so hostile now? Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. But that's what happens when you think with your dick. And Candace Owens said something about Kamala Harris sucked to get her where she is, and Candace never did. I don't believe that one bit, Candace. Not one bit. At all. When you're not only betraying your country, your nationality, you betray your gender and your culture as a black American and as a woman. You've betrayed all three things that actually make up who you are. So, yeah, as if you made any sense. So, yeah, just some bantering on why I am so passionate about some of these issues. My mom used to be called manic depressive, and it's been bipolar for a long time. Usually skips a generation. My mom had it, although she was never diagnosed. She had some other things too, and that weren't really diagnosed. I guess partly is because they didn't know quite as much as they do, of course, now. Until we were grown. Until I was like in my 40s. Before, so she had to be in her 60s before anybody were like, I think, and it's hard because you throw that Jehovah's Witness crap in with that, and when she was a good person, but when that bipolar bitch came out and she didn't understand it and we didn't understand it and it was just fucked up. And if we'd had better health care for people and not giving low income people just leftover health care but good health care because she couldn't get it then, maybe things would have been different for her and all three kids. So, I've had a lot of experiences with these things that these bastards just want to cut out. And right now, I live on Social Security because of my foot and my back and my wrist. And without Social Security, without the housing vouchers, without EBT, I will literally be destitute with no place to live. Um, as if, getting injured was some, like, prize or something. Oh, now you don't have to work anymore. Yay! Now I have to worry about shit for the rest of my fucking life, too. Yay! It's like when I use the electric cart to do my food shopping, so I'm not in agony for all night long, from the foot being swollen. And every now and then, especially on a hot summer day, or somebody would be like, "Oh, I'm waiting for people so I can get through." Someone would be like, "Oh, must be nice to be able to ride around and shop after a busy day." And it's really hard not to be snarky. But I'll kind of say, "Well," I said, "Well, if you're that tired, we could exchange legs and back, and I'll be happily take your job and to have two good legs and a good back, and you can ride around every time you'll be justified riding around to do your food shopping." So yeah, that's a deal I'll take. They walk away pretty quick, feeling very stupid, and I wasn't rude, but I was very straightforward. Um, Acting as if I had no idea. I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll take that deal." Sometimes you have to be that way to get a point across, and yet not humiliate them. You throw them off, and then you can take your leave unless they walk away. But I know they're trying to make a joke. I don't know. I'm trying to be like, "Oh God, I know how you feel," but you really don't, because if I didn't have to, do you know how much of a pain it is to shop in those things, especially when it's busy, and they put all those things in on the ends of the aisles and in the sides, so you can't fucking get through because it's too wide. It's wider. Those things are fucking wider than typical, shopping carts. And they never make things wide enough for two of those electric carts. They only make it wide enough for two. And things are you're trying. It's a longer cut. You can't just turn as easily. It's a much wider turn circle. So they'll back up a foot, and I'm like, "Look at this. Do you really think this is gonna cut that close with you standing there?" It's like you have to fucking explain it to everybody. And these are adults. These are not children. And they step back a foot. I'm like, "Oh my fucking God," I'm thinking to myself. And you have to deal with this every fucking other aisle. And then they wonder, "Well, you're fat because you don't ever walk in the shopping in the grocery store." Uh. Is this just a piss and moan pity party? It's not a pity party. It's trying to point out to people that haven't ever have to think about it, and maybe get frustrated with people that you meet out in your day, like me, in a shopping cart, and it's taking 2 more seconds and longer. You don't think it's making us, a lot of us are also like, "Oh God, I'm holding everybody up." Not all of us are people that think, "Well, everybody can just stand and wait for me," okay? Most of us, we'd like to get the fuck out of everybody's way as fast as we can. So I'm just trying to kind of point some of those things out to y'all in case you haven't, hasn't yet occurred to you, with your interactions with people that aren't exactly completely able-bodied as everybody else is, or differently abled. I don't like to say disabled, and differently abled sounds like you're deliberately trying not to say disabled, but I just I'm in an agitated state right now because I had to fucking tell you about that shit. Because I'm tired of people just. And it's not just me, okay? I'm tough. I can take fucking shit. I'll give it back, whatever. Does it hurt? Sometimes, sometimes. But it's not the people that think they're hurting me. You're not the ones. It's the ones I care about that hurt what they say or don't say. I don't care about you, trolls, so you can't hurt me. But when somebody's down and the first thing you think about is now's the best time to find to find out what the fuck they meant by such and such, if that's your first thought, is to confront. Oh well, they're not all feisty today, so they look off. So that's a good time to approach them about this. If that's your first thought with people, yeah, it's a you problem, not a them problem. Definitely. So anyway, that is what I've done. I've told you some of the things on why I feel the way I feel. And I mean it about the abortion issue. The issue is not, I'll say it again, the issue is not should the law say you can have an abortion. It's not about do you want to be able to get an abortion. I don't care what you want to do. That's your business. The law we're talking about is not do you want to have an abortion. The law we're talking about is should all women have that same choice that you have to not have an abortion. Do I and every other woman have the choice to also choose to have one or not have one? Because before, we all had that choice, so we were all, it was fair. If I want to join a religion that doesn't allow that, that's my choice. But now you guys have taken choice away from us and say, well, because our religion tells us that this is wrong, so you can't do it. Nobody can do it. But I'm not your fucking religion. If you don't find something wrong with that, you're not an American and you don't approve or agree with the Constitution, because that's one of the things it was based on. So, whatever. I'm really curious on some demure and thoughtful comments. Stupid troll ones, I'm just gonna start removing. Same person keeps doing it, I'm just gonna ban you. I've had a few people just come out and say, just fucking don't even school them, just fuck them. There's like, we ignore them, you should too. So thank you, whoever you are in real life who have left me those kind of messages. And listen to that. So peace out, guys.